I used to be the laziest student in my class until I discovered this one dopamine trick that got me addicted to studying and gave me 98% grades. And no, you don't need discipline, willpower, or motivation. You just need to change one thing when you wake up. I'm about to show you exactly what 99% of students are doing wrong every single morning that's destroying their focus and making studying feel like torture. Hey everyone, today I'm revealing a dopamine-based morning routine that completely transformed my academic life. I'm talking straight A's, 98% average grades, and here's the crazy part, I actually became addicted to studying. And the best thing, this routine is ridiculously easy to implement. You literally just have to change one thing and you're golden. So let's get straight into it. This routine will not only make you 10 times more productive, but it will actually make you enjoy studying, which is the most important part. It makes studying addictive because this morning routine takes advantage of your brain's dopamine system. Let me break down the science for you. Okay, so here's a quick explanation of what dopamine is and why it matters. Imagine this is your day, this is your dopamine level, and I'm adding a third line, which is your baseline. When you wake up in the morning, your dopamine is somewhere around this baseline range, right here. Now here's the problem that's destroying your productivity. Most students, or people in general, start their morning routine by opening their phone, scrolling through social media, or engaging in other highly stimulating activities. The problem with these kinds of activities is they cause an early dopamine spike, a massive one. And here's where it gets really bad. When you get huge spikes of dopamine in the morning, your brain creates a huge drop to compensate for that spike. Why? Because your body undergoes homeostasis. Your body needs to balance your dopamine levels. And because of this huge drop, whatever you do during this time will feel like a complete chore. It feels like work. It feels unenjoyable. It feels like torture. This is why whenever you use your phone first thing in the morning and it causes that huge spike, when you try to study afterward, in this range right here, your studying feels absolutely miserable. Like literally, you'd rather be doing anything. You're sitting at your desk, staring at your textbook, and your brain is screaming at you to go back to your phone. And this is exactly what most people do to escape this feeling. They go right back to using their phone again, scrolling, watching videos, checking notifications. And that's the vicious cycle. That's the problem with starting your day with a dopaminergic activity. It starts your day off with such a peak that your entire day ends up looking like this, super messy, full of peaks and crashes. Part 2. Top students versus average students. Because of these dopamine peaks and crashes, it becomes incredibly hard for you to focus on literally anything meaningful. Your attention is scattered, your motivation is gone. You're constantly fighting against your own brain chemistry. Now, what about top students? What about the people who are crushing it academically? Top students manage their dopamine levels completely differently. Let me show you what their day looks like. When top students wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is they don't use their phones. So their dopamine curve looks like this. When you don't use your phone and you don't engage in any dopaminergic activity first thing in the morning, your dopamine stays at that baseline level. And because you're at this baseline, whatever you're doing, whether it's work, studying, or anything else, it becomes naturally enjoyable. Why? Because your brain isn't suffering from a huge dopamine crash. It's not desperate for stimulation. It's calm, focused, and ready to engage. This creates consistency throughout your entire day. When you're eating, when you're studying, when you're working, as long as you're keeping this dopamine line in check, you're going to have a solid, consistent study habit. Top students typically aim for more natural sources of dopamine, like the satisfaction from studying itself, going outdoors, exercising, or meaningful social connections. By the way, if you want to dive deeper into this concept, check out Andrew Huberman's research on dopamine management. There are some incredible resources out there that explain dopamine loading in detail. So let me walk you through my exact morning routine. The first thing I do whenever I wake up And I wake up at 5 a.m. nowadays because I find that to be the most practical time for me, but there isn't really a correct time to get up. You can adjust this to your schedule. But literally the first thing I do when I get out of bed is I don't go to my phone. I literally don't touch that thing. It's on silent mode across the room, and I don't open it. I don't check messages, I don't check emails, I don't even check if there are class announcements. I don't touch a single piece of technology. I just go straight to meditate. And my meditation does two critical things. First, it clears my mind. It stabilizes my dopamine so it's not spiking all over the place. It maintains that baseline level. Not only does this help me start my day right, but it also helps me study more effectively. Because anything that's occurring in my mind, worries, distractions, random thoughts, gets flushed away when I'm meditating. I always do this before I study because it's incredibly beneficial. When you're trying to absorb as much information as possible, you don't want excessive cognitive load from intrusive thoughts or mental clutter disturbing you. So that's why the first thing I do when I get out of bed is literally just meditate. I meditate for several minutes before I start studying. Part 3. Meditation, priming, and the study session. The second thing my meditation does, and this is very important, is that I essentially prime myself for the day ahead. Whenever I meditate, I try to align myself with who I need to be for that day. This is extremely useful if you want to stay consistent for a long period of time. Here's why. A lot of times people get motivated to change or apply a certain habit, but every time they wake up the next day, they just forget everything. The motivation is gone, the clarity is gone, and they fall right back into old patterns. I wanted to break through that cycle, and my solution was to literally align myself every single morning. I remind myself, okay, you need to be this person today. Don't forget your goals. You're going to be doing this and that. You need to act this certain way today. To keep your mindset strong in the long run, you have to constantly remind yourself of what you need to prioritize. So literally, while I'm meditating, I'm not only clearing my mind, but I'm also aligning my identity. I remind myself, this is the person I'm becoming. Today, I have to study with intention because I have high aspirations. I really want to deeply understand the material I'll be learning today. As you guys know, I'm someone who loves learning subjects like math, science, and computer science. I like spending my time productively instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media or getting lost in short-form content. And especially when it comes to learning complex subjects like computer science, math, and physics, I love when the learning is very visual and interactive. I've been fascinated by artificial intelligence lately, so I've been working through their How AI Works course, and I've been having so much fun learning the core principles of AI in such a fun, presentable way. The interactive lessons make complex topics feel accessible and exciting. Right after meditating, I go straight to studying. I don't wash my face first, I don't eat breakfast, I don't prepare my day. I just go straight into studying mode. And here's why. My mind is already primed and cleared with that baseline dopamine level, and I want to take full advantage of it while it's fresh. The complete routine and key takeaways. Because of that mental clarity and stable dopamine, I just start studying immediately. I don't do random tasks or busy work. I don't spend time preparing my environment. My desk is already set up, literally nothing but my laptop and essentials. So I don't have to do anything except sit down and dive into focused learning. My shower and breakfast can come later. You could structure this differently based on what works for you, but here's another reason why I wake up at 5 a.m. It allows me to study material before my classes. And this is a game changer because my classes literally become my review session. I've already learned the information on my own, so when the professor teaches it, it's my second exposure to the material. Class becomes my secondary review, which is pretty incredible if you ask me. Another massive benefit of waking up at 5 a.m. is that nobody else is awake. It's just me, my studying, and zero distractions. No notifications, no people, no interruptions, just pure, deep focus. It's honestly the most productive time of my entire day. So here's the morning routine you can implement starting tomorrow morning. And here's the key insight. It's not necessarily about doing more stuff that makes you productive. It's about removing the things that make you unproductive. You need to clear your morning so much that the only thing you naturally feel like doing is studying. You need to give yourself no reason to check your phone or engage in distracting activities so that you're naturally gravitated toward meaningful work. The one recommendation I give to every person I meet, every student who asks for advice, is this: don't open your phone first thing in the morning. Don't do anything that spikes your dopamine early in the day. That means no social media, no messaging friends, no watching videos, and definitely no adult content. If you start your day with those kinds of activities, you're just going to spike your dopamine and experience that brutal low afterward, which makes studying or any productive activity feel miserable. So here's your key takeaway from this video. Balance your dopamine. It's totally okay to use your phone. It's okay to play games. It's okay to enjoy the things you like, but make sure you regulate it. Don't start your day with dopaminergic activities. You can enjoy everything later in the day, but your morning is the most important hour because it sets the tone for everything that follows. If you want to make studying fun, or anything fun in general, you need to cut out the external sources of dopamine so that you can make the activity itself intrinsically enjoyable. You can't just stack dopamine hits by using your phone and watching stimulating content while studying, because studying requires your full attention and mental presence. If anything, studying can be intrinsically fun. There's genuine fulfillment in learning when you focus on studying itself rather than layering artificial dopamine on top of it. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope that tomorrow morning you're going to skip the gadgets and social media and just focus on what's truly important. You can obviously modify this routine to fit your lifestyle, but at its core essence, try to avoid any dopamine-inducing activity first thing in the morning. Speaking of dopamine, let's choose the emoji of today. I'm thinking syringe, because dopamine, chemicals, neuroscience, right? Comment down a syringe emoji if you've reached this part of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to drink your water and take care of your brain chemistry. Peace!